So to create the junk loads, it's a very, very simple, budget-friendly technique. I'm telling you. The particle board, well, not particle board, it's a foam board. It's 3/16 of an inch thick. That's all it is. And what you do is you trace it to make it fit inside the gondola. And so you can see here, it fits snuggle right inside the gondolas here. And then all I have to use as far as, I would say, tools is a scissor, maybe a box cutter. The materials to use for the junk loads, it's just simple foil, even some scrap that you can find around the house, maybe some cardboard, you can cut those into small pieces, along with, if you have any scrap pieces left from these foam boards, that's what I do here. And so what I'm simply doing, and they do fly all over the place, letting you know, and just cut small pieces. And voila, you have pieces here that will be good for using scrap. Okay, because like I said, they go up everywhere. Next, as far as painting, we're going to be using a primer. This is a rust primer because it already gives a nice rust coating. You also want to color these as rust. So in case there are some pieces that you've glued that leave a little bit of space, you don't want to see black. You want to see some rust, right? And also, we're going to use some powders if needed. So we have these beautiful colors of dark earth. We have rusty brown and grimy black, and they are made by Monroe models. I use those all my weathering, from all my weathering rolling stock and locomotives, and it will work great for here. Okay, so to get all these kind of pieces, now you got to make a lot of them. I have about enough here for like 19 cars. Roughly I have maybe loads for maybe 3 cars just right here, maybe 2. And so it depends how big you want to cut those pieces or how small you want to cut them, right? And so what I do is I take really cheap foil. Now this is like $1 at Dollar General, even like Dollar Tree has them. They're used for understernos, you know, and you get these in these sheets, and what I do is I cut them in half and then I fold them into like threes, and then I would cut them here in the middle to get some more pieces out of it, right? That's all. And then you go hold them together, and you could cut them to a variety of sizes. You do all the same in one spot, and then the next spot you can make them a little bigger or a little smaller. Okay, so stuff like that. So I'm not going to sit here for another hour or so and cut a bunch of these on camera, but we're going to go to the next part here. Make sure I don't cut myself, which, by the way, I did that earlier. I'm not really that great with scissors. I might have to go back to school and learn how to use scissors. Okay, so let's go to the next step, and when we glue all of these on top of these foam boards, and then we'll paint all of it. Alright, so now after we have made our templates and everything's cut to size, I have a bunch of little scraps here from foil, a little bit of cardboard, a little bit of foam pieces, some stuff from the foam board. So you got a nice set here. I probably need to make more than what I have here, and but we're gonna use what we have here, and then we need to make more, we'll make more. And don't forget, I got this whole empty thing to use now, so don't throw anything out. There's no need to throw anything out. I'm using just normal Elmer's school glue here, and you can get it on Amazon for like $7 a bottle. I think they had a deal last time I got, it was like 2 for $15 with tax or something, so it's fairly inexpensive. And so I just put a bunch in here in this little bowl, and we're going to put a generous amount of glue on these little foam board pieces that we made for our gondolas. And then we'll place, I want to do these in a, hopefully it works like this to where I can, these don't stick. But you want to put a generous amount of glue. And what's good about having these big jugs of glue is that, you know, you can use a lot of it. And actually, believe it or not, this lasts me over a year and a half now, almost 2 years. So, got a lot of use out of these big jugs of glue. I think it's like a gallon. I forget how much it is. That's in here, but here. So we are almost done here. We're gonna do the top layer, and then, well, the top set, and then the bottom set I'll do off camera. Sprinkle these pieces on here. Try to get a little more even. Alright, so after 24 hours of drying and then pulling them apart, here is pretty much the result. Now, there were some pieces that did fall off, which I knew was going to happen. Also, I had to fit them back into the gondola, so more pieces fell off. But that's okay, because I came back with a little tacky glue, and all the pieces that fell off, I glued them back, and it actually made an extra layer on top. So it wasn't, so that way it's not too high above the gondola, but pretty much just level with the top of the freight car itself. And so now it's all glued, it's all dry, and you see here's what's left, and I can make more loads. So I'm going to put these in a Ziploc bag and put them away with the rest of the little detailed stuff that I have for the layout, and maybe I'll add some more, because I need to add a couple of different kinds of gondolas on the train. Well, I would like to, and so those also need scrap. So time to make different loads, or smaller loads for those gondolas with the rest of that material. So anyway, we're going to be now spray painting all of these loads, and then it's time to weather them. Oh yeah, this is coming out really nice. So that primer spray paint from Rust-Oleum is a rust color primer spray paint. Does a really nice job on giving you an effect of rust on these loads. I mean, look at them, they're starting to really take shape here. And that's just about maybe a coat, 2 coats over. That's it. The next step is going to be using these powders. And I'm using Monroe Models and Ames products, which is owned by Monroe Models. And I'm using these colors right here, which is the Rusty Brown, Dark Earth, Grimy Black, and Light Rust. Okay, don't forget, using the darker rusts are for old rust, and new rust is used the light rust weathering powder is to create something that's a newer rust effect, right? So that's all it is, guys, and this is something that's super simple to do. It's fun. I use a very light brush here. This is the kind of brush I use. It's very, very light. You can see here. And all you got to do now is just layer these powders, okay? There's no really magic to it. It's really simple. Just layer the powders until you feel like it's right for you. Or if you want to go based off a photo, do that. And I have an old video on weathering an old junk railroad wheel load that I made a few years ago. And I'm doing the same technique. So you can look at that video. I'll try to remember to put the link into this description and below here in the video, so that way you can see how that video, how I weathered that. It's so simple, you know, and all you gotta do is put some music on, or watch a video, or listen to a podcast or something, and just go to town on these. So I'm gonna do that now, and let's see the final result after these powders have been applied. Alright, so here you go. This is what it looks like when it's all weathered and dull coat is sealed over it. As you can see, there's a little space there. I have some of them a little shorter than others. And once I get all of these gondolas weathered, that really will blend in really, really well. But you can see here, this is what it's going to look like. So we're going to put it on the layout here.